Hello guys, my name is Kaushik and welcome back to LambdaTest. In this video, we're going to learn about the Playwright Fixture. So we'll learn like what is Fixture and how to use the Fixture, and we are going to learn the implementation using page object model. So let's get started now. So if you see in our previous video, the page object model, we have written a lot of pages and we have called those pages in our test and we have created all the object, right? So we have imported the class and then like before using those functions or the methods from the class, we have created the object and then we have used that, right? But there is a better way to do that with the help of Playwright Fixture. So let me show you the documentation now. So here is the official document. It is known as Fixture. It's based on the concept of the test fixture. So if you already aware of like Python, probably you have heard the term like Fixture. Here it's going to be very simple and easy to implement as well, I can say, but few of the things we have to understand before using this. Okay, so let's get started now. You can read the definitions and everything. I will show you the practical implementation and as well as the coding part now. Okay, so before straight away going into the Playwright fixture concept, let me tell us how we can write our own fixture as well. Okay, so before that, if you new to this tutorial, probably you might not aware like what is Fixture. Okay, so let's go and see our first test script, that is login.test.ts. so here you can see like we have launched the chrome.launch, we got the browser, from the browser we created the new context, from the context we created the new page, and with the help of page object we are saying like go to, hover, fill, click, wait for timeout, whatever the functions we have learned so far, right? But this 3 lines is not required if you are going to use the fixture. So here if you go to any other test like alert.test.ts, you can see like within the test function, and here we are getting this page, right? So this is fixture. That means it's a object where it is already created like all the codes like creating the launching the browser, creating the context and creating object for the new page, right? So we are able to straight away use the page as a fixture. Now let us see how this page comes within this, right? So within the test block we are getting page, that's fine, and it's easy to use as well, but how does it works under the hood? So let us do that. Let us understand that by creating our own fixture. So I'm going to create a folder here. Let's name it like fixture, and within that I'm going to create my fixture, something like that. Okay, so it's just a simple TS file. Same thing applies for JavaScript as well if you are using JavaScript, but the syntactic sugar might be little change, but mostly same. Okay, if you want to learn about the JavaScript, probably here you can see the documentation. Only the import statement will change and few things inside the code, but concept is very much same. If you learn the concept in TypeScript and if you want to refer the JavaScript code, probably you can see the documentation from the Playwright website. Okay, so let's go and get started now. So first of all, we are going to import the test, import test, and that's going to be from Playwright Test. Okay, but of course we are creating our own fixture, so we will not use the test from the Playwright Test directly, but we will override that. Okay, so here I'm going to say something like as my test. Okay, so this is going to be like my test. Okay, I'm just giving some alias to it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say like my test dot extend is the function. Okay, so here you can see like here we have like after all, after each, these are like hooks from the test runner, before all, before each, and describe, expect, lot of things are there. We are going to focus on the extend for now. Okay, so within the extend we have to give some generic, like generic in the sense like what is the data type it's going to be. Okay, and then followed by we have to give some object within this. Okay, so what this generic in the sense like we can give the class name and the class type, or else we can say like data and the data type. Okay, so we can simply give that within the generic itself, or else we have a special feature in TypeScript called type. Okay, so for example, let's say that this is going to be like type equal to let's say that it's going to be like something like Kaushik. Okay, just my name. Okay, and then I'm going to say like, so Kaushik is a type where it's going to say like, let's say that it has like age colon, it's going to be of type number, and then it has like or we can say like email equal to, it's going to be like string. Okay, so Kaushik is a data type where it has a two fields like age and the email. Okay, age is of number, and email is of type string. Okay, so these are like your properties and kind of like object, but it's different. It's known as like type. Okay, in TypeScript. Okay, now here I can pass this simply. Okay, so that's it. That means my test is basically alias from the Playwright Test runner, and it has a function called extend, which will basically like extend the test object by defining fixture and option that can be used in this sense. So if you want to use this one, okay, for example, here we are using the page, right? Similarly, I want to use something like age or the email, right? So for that we have to do the extend here. Okay, now here what can I do is I can simply say like age, and then I can give the value. Let's say that it's going to be 27, and email, and that's going to be like string, of course, so we'll enclose that within double quotes and something like gmail.com. okay, so that's it, very simple. That's it, we are pretty much done already. Okay, now this I'm going to store it like let's name it like my fixture test, something like that. Okay, now of course I cannot use it directly. I have created the fixture, but I cannot use it. I have to do the export. Okay, so here I will say like export, and then followed by const, then followed by test equal to my fixture test. Okay, so this is this value. Okay, so this is like while using this my fixture test in another class, I will use that as a test. Okay, not the my fixture test. Okay, now let's go and create a file. Okay, so here I'm going to say something like fixture test .ts file. Okay, or we can give the name as well, like .ts. Okay, so here I have created a test. Now usually what we do like we write a test block, and then we import the test from the Playwright Test, right? But instead of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to import my test from the fixture that I have created. Okay, so / in the sense like it's in the current folder, and my fixture is the file name. Okay, so here you can see this is the file name. Now this test will refer to this test that we imported. Okay, so here I'm going to of course give the test described name, for example fixture demo, and then followed by the async guy, and then here we'll get our fixture, and of course this is going to be your anonymous function. Okay, so this one, right? So usually what we do, we will get the page. Okay, so page is like similarly like we have extended, that means already whatever we have in the Playwright Test runner, we will get all those things. But additional to that, like I have defined the age, right? I can get that. I have defined the email, that also I can get. Okay, so this is how the Playwright fixture is working. Okay, so here you can see like here we are getting the page because that is already defined. Similarly, if I want to get something of my own, then I have to use this like creating a fixture. I have to extend that, and then I have to use it. Okay, so similarly like okay, let's go and run this. Okay, so I'm going to console log like age, and then followed by the email. Okay, now let's go and run this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to my config file, and here within the test match, let's give this particular test. So copy relative path, paste it, and change this to this. Okay, now let's bring our terminal, Ctrl J, and here I'm going to say npm test. So what we can expect like the age and the email, that is like 27 and 𝑘𝒉𝒂𝒕@gmail.com. so here you can select we got 27 and the data. Okay, since we are receiving the string and the number, then of course I can do some manipulation on that, right? For example, if I say like email dot, you can see like we are getting some functions like 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, like whatever the string functions are there, we can get it. And number in the sense like of course I can do some manipulation, I can say like maybe like 15, something like that. Okay, so if I try to execute the same, okay, so 27 plus 15, 42, and the email in uppercase. Okay, that's a very simple thing, very simple concept this one is. Okay, let me give you a quick recap. So here if I go to my login.test.ts, this is the like basic of Playwright library. Okay, this thing is coming from the Playwright library, where we have to say like how to launch the browser, how to create the context, how to create the page, and once we create the page, using that we can access all the functions. Okay, that is the traditional way of using Playwright as a library. But Playwright Test Runner, both are different, which is merged into a single API now. Okay, so Playwright Test Runner basically gives us all this like hooks, the precondition and the post condition, right? So here you can see like here, okay, I didn't close the browser, but of course we should close the browser so that the browser will get closed. But whenever we write test like this, if you go this like window.test.ts, here nowhere we are saying like how to close the browser, but after each and every test the browser get closed, right? So in that way the fixture helps us. So how to create our own fixture, in the sense like it's very simple. First you create a you give a alias to the test from the Playwright Test Runner, and then you use the extend, and there you have to specify the type. Okay, if you don't know like what is the type feature, and if you're using JavaScript, simply you can just copy this and you can give curly braces and give the value as it is. Okay, that's it. If you don't know about the types in TypeScript, in JavaScript I don't think we have this. Probably you can use that as an object, or directly also you can pass it as it is. Okay, both way it should work fine. So I'll just comment this maybe for now for your reference, and just to make sure I'm going to execute one more time and check this one. Okay, and then using the my test fixture you have to import this. Okay, so for example this is this test, right? This is what we are using in our test cases. So here you can see like we got the same output. Okay, so here like if I change this to, let's say that this is going to be my it, like in the Jasmine we say it block, not the test block, right? So if you go to the fixture.test, now you can see there is nothing called test, so it will become it, and here also it will become like it. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing. I'm going to undo this now and undo here as well. Okay, so we understood the core concept of Playwright fixture, but this is just like 10 or 20% I can say. There are a lot of things which you can learn of your own. So here you can see like how to create a fixture, we have done that. How to use a fixture, we have done that. But apart from that we have like overriding, worker scoped, automatic, timeout, options, execution order. A lot of things are there. Probably you can learn those by reading this document. It's very easy to understand, I believe. Or else do let me know in the comments. Probably I can do that in another video. Okay, now let's go and understand how to implement the same for the page object model. Okay, so page object model already we discussed in our previous video, and it's I think it's that one is really elaborated, so I'm not going to give you a quick recap on the page object model, but let's understand how to use with the help of Playwright Test Runner. Okay, so I'm going to create a folder called base, and within that I'm going to say like something like form fixture .ts file. Okay, and then of course what we have to do, we have to first import the test, and we are going to give some alias. Let's name it like base test, something like that, and we are going to import that from the Playwright Test Runner. Okay, so Playwright as test. Okay, that's it. Now of course we have to create the fixture using the extent, and then I'm going to give all my types. Okay, so here I'm going to say like type pages equals, within the object we are going to give the values. Okay, so what are the pages we have? Simply we can go to our test file and we can import all the classes. Okay, so I'm going to copy and paste over here. Okay, so here we can say like something like register page, and the type is going to be like register page. Okay, so similarly I'm going to give for all the values. So here I'm going to say like login page colon login page. Okay, and you can separate this with colon if you want, or else you can skip that as well. Okay, and okay, let's do for the home page colon home page, and then followed by special page colon special page. Okay, so don't get confused, it's really easy. This is like we are giving some name, like register page is the class name, whereas we are giving some alias to it. Okay, or we can also select creating an giving an object name to it. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to give the generic type. So here I will say the generic, and the type is going to be like pages, and here we have to create the object for all the classes. Okay, now let's give some name to it. So I'm going to say like const test pages. Can be any name, don't worry about the name until it is understandable and meaningful. Okay, and from there of course I have to export. So I will say like export const test equal to test pages. Okay, let's create the object for all the classes that we have declared here. Okay, so first we'll start with the register page, and then we have to use the async. Of course it's going to be like async and await everywhere, and then followed by we are going to get the page within the fixture, and then we have to return something, right? So we'll say like await, and then followed by use. I'll tell you this use, what is use. So before that we'll get the use first, and here we'll get the use. Okay, so await use, and then followed by new, the register page, where we have to pass the page in the constructor. Okay, so that's it, very simple, right? So let me tell you what is this. Okay, so this is the register page which is coming from this type, and here we already know like async await, that is fine, and already this is also a fixture, right? So of course we can get the page within this, and use is something like that we have to like kind of like overriding. Okay, so for example when I say like test.use, there is also a function called test.use. For example let me go to any of our test. So here you can say like we are getting the base URL, right? So if I want to override the base URL, what can I do is I can simply say like test.use, and here I can say like my base URL is going to be something something something. Okay, so now this base URL will be this base URL, that is some value, some URL. Okay, so this use is basically going to override that is specified within the fixture. Okay, so same concept here also, like within the Playwright test there is already a use which is using some data, but we have to use that right now. So what we are going to do, we are going to use the okay, so then we are creating the object. Okay, so what is the difference between creating object here and creating the object within the test directly, right? I will tell you that difference in a moment, please give me some time. Okay, similarly I'm going to create object for all the classes. So let's copy paste. Okay, so first one is the login page, then here it's register page, then here it's going to be login page, this is going to be my home page, and this is going to be my special page. Similarly I have to change the class name as well. Let's copy and paste it very quickly. Okay, and of course format the code. Let's write this one by one for better understanding. Okay, last comma is not needed. Yeah, so this is how we have created all our page objects within the fixture. That means now I don't have to create the page objects or the class objects in all my tests, rather I can just simply use those. For example, I'm going to copy paste the same test, and here I will name it like using fixture. Just for your understanding I'm giving this name, of course you don't have to do it. Okay, and what we can do is we can simply like wherever we have created the this thing, right, we created the object, right, we are going to comment that. Okay, so of course we'll get a lot of error, but that is fine for now. Okay, so this 3. Okay, so totally we have like 3 test blocks, and everywhere I have just commented that one. Okay, now this test is coming from where? This is coming from the Playwright Test runner, okay? But I don't want to use that, rather I want to use it from my fixture, correct? So here I will say like // and then followed by fixture / okay, with this is within the base, right? So /base / POM fixture, okay? Now here test is fine, test we are getting, but the expect is not coming from there, right? So we have to export the expect as well, okay? So here what can I do is I can simply say like export const expect, and that is going to come from my test pages dot expect, okay? So that's it. Like whatever you want to use, you can use it. For example, here this test dot describe, right? So this test dot describe also coming from the same test, so that is fine, okay? If you want to export it separately, you can do that as well, okay? Yeah, now since this test already we have created a fixture, what can we do is simply here I can say like I want register page for this particular test, right? So here we are using all the register, so I can just copy and I can just replace this now, okay? So that's it. We don't have to create this object, rather we will get this from the fixture and we can use it. Now here we want the login, right? So here I can say like dot login page, okay? And then I can use this everywhere I need, okay? So here it's going to be like login page, okay? That's it, very simple thing, okay? Now here what we need the home page, login page, and the special page, right? So we'll import all the like login page, home page, and the special page, okay? So that's it, very simple. We'll just change this now, login page, this is home page, and this is going to be my special page, okay? And this is also same, okay? That's it, we are pretty much done, okay? Now let's confirm this by executing the test. So I'm going to do that. Let's go to, okay, here we don't want this import anymore because we are not creating the object within the test, rather we have already created in our fixture and we are going to use it here. So this looks very simple, right? So if you compare the code side by side, let me split right and here, okay? So let me increase the font, yeah. So let it be, okay? So here you can see like we have a lot of import statement. Here it's look more cleaner, and here we have created the object everywhere, whereas here we are just getting it in the fixture and we are you can use that within the test directly, okay? So like if you have like lot of test and you have to create a lot of object, then of course here you have to create, like you see here we have created the login here, and again we have created the login here as well. But in this case, in this fixture, we didn't create the object, we just use it from the Playwright Test fixture, okay? So that is the benefit of Playwright Test fixture. Once you start using it, you will understand it better, I guess, okay? So let's go and bring the Playwright config file. Here I'm going to change this test name, okay? And let's run it just to confirm like everything works fine. Okay, so the browser got launched, it's doing some registration. Email is already exist, so that's why that should fail actually, but I don't know we have correct validation message or not, okay? And since the email ID is already there, of course we can log in and we can do something over there, yeah. So it says 3 pass, but we know that one got failed. That is the bad of mine, okay, not the Playwright thing. So here of course I have to write some validation step, okay? That is why like without validation we should not write any of the test, okay? So here like this one we are checking, but once we click on the continue register button, we have to do some verifications, like the verification, I mean the registration is complete or not. If that is done, probably here it will be failed, but in our case it is passing, okay? That's TypeScript problem, don't worry about it too much now, okay? So that's it. We are pretty much done with our Playwright fixture. Let me give you one more tip to improve your page object model, like reading the data from the JSON file. Okay, so instead of like creating here all the test data, what we can do is we can create a JSON file. Okay, so I'm going to write that within a folder. Let's make it like test dash data. Okay, and I'm going to say like add to cart dot test dot data, not like dash. Yeah, that should be fine. Dot JSON file. Okay, yeah, that is fine. Okay, so now here I can just simply create an object, and you know the drill, right, to read the data. So first of all is first name, so I'll say like first name equal to some name, and then it's going to be like the last name. So what are the test data you want, you can specify over here. Okay, and what we need the email we are getting from here, so we will change that. So here I can say like comma, then followed by email and the value. So here I'm going to make a change to like 04. Okay, and what else we need the password guy, right? So we'll copy that, and here we'll change that like password and the value. Okay, I think these are the 4 only we need, so we'll just remove this one. Yeah, we don't have any other values. Okay, so even if you want the phone number, probably you can give that. Let me show you that as well. Okay, so here I'm going to give one more like phone underscore number and the phone number. Okay, some number. Yeah, fine. Now let's go and do this. So here I'm going to like do the import star as data from the where is the folder name? It's in the test dash data slash. Okay, I have to use like dot slash. Come on, I can just copy the path and paste over here, and of course within the double quotes, and we'll change this to this one. Okay, and it should be like dot slash, I guess, dot slash. Yeah, so this is the path dot slash test data slash the JSON file name. Okay, now here we are using this like alias data, right? So here I can say like I can remove the first name, and I can say like data dot first name. Okay, that is the beauty of TypeScript. You can get the suggestion here directly from your JSON file. Okay, so this is the last name, and this is going to be my data dot phone number, and this is going to be my data dot password, and same here data dot password. Okay, so similarly you can change for other things as well. So I'm going to okay, let's do it. Okay, so data dot email, and here it's going to data dot password, similarly here. Okay, so data dot email and data dot password. Okay, that's it, pretty much done. Now here we have changed this to 04, so hopefully it should do the registration. Now let's go and run this one more last time. Okay, so let's go and run this. Okay, in email it says like, okay, it's going to fail actually, and all the other tests will also fail because the registration itself failed, right? So let's see what happens. I have given the data wrong, that's it, nothing much here. So if you go here, so here it should be like email, and this one is going to be like data dot last name. data.email, data.password, data.email, data.password. Okay, so we corrected everything, but let's wait for this one. Okay, last one got passed because we have given that here correctly, but other two failed because last one should also fail, right? Let's go and check the reporter. Okay, so if you go to the reporter and if you open the index.html to cut, this one got passed actually. And what is the test data? 𝑾𝒉𝒂𝒕 Okay, let's go and check the video. I think I have that 04 mailinator registration as well. Okay, I got it. The login failed, but without login also we can add a product to the cart, right? So that's why the test got passed. I think we should write a better approach to handle this test case, but yeah, you got the idea, right? So now let's make it one more time pass. Like I want to do the registration, with that I want to do the login, and then I want to check the product in the cart. Okay, my test case is worst here, that's why even though it's failing, it's showing the result as pass, but you got the idea, right? So we are focusing more on the coding part, not how to write a good test. So you got the idea. There's also one thing, like in test automation, sometimes if you don't follow the test case or you don't know about the use case scenario, even though your test is failing, it will give you false result as pass. Okay, so be cautious on that. Okay, so that's it. We got the result now and 3 are passing. Okay, so this is how we can read the data from the JSON. It's going to be very simple, and the Playwright test fixture. Okay, so let me give you a quick recap and we can conclude this video. Okay, so let's go to the base pom_fixture.ts. okay, so very simple thing. So whatever the classes you want to create object, do the import. Before that, do the import from Playwright Test and give a alias to that. Okay, like base test or whatever you feel. Okay, and then we have to use the extend, where we have to give the types, like what are the classes we have, and using that we have to create the object for all the classes, and make sure you are going to use the async and await and the use function as well. Okay, and then whatever you want to use or export to the outside of this particular class, you can do the export. Okay, and then from your fixture test you can just get that. So in this way we don't have to write a lot of import statement in our test file. And also the good thing is, like when we use the Playwright test runner, we don't have to worry about the before and after the test, like opening the browser and closing the browser. It's basically like static object which will take care of all the other things. Okay, so that's it from my side. Thanks for watching. If you have any queries, feel free to ask me in the comments. Tada, bye bye, take care, see you in the next one.